craft tool B803, B802, a tool that I made myself. It kind of got an angle on it and comes to a point. 888 tool, it's a craft tool, and a modified craft tool that I use for highlighting my tooling. And then the Bear King swivel knife, and the two models that I use the most. And look at some practice pieces I've done here. Kind of turns into artwork after a while, and you can make these pieces and sign the back and date them, and then you have something that people might want, and you can sell. Here's what I've got so far. Well, all I actually like is punching the hole in a slot right here, and it will end up something like this. Kind of mimic this particular pattern right here, and it's for this J.A. Hinkle's outdoor knife. As you can tell, this box has got some age on it. This knife is simply beautiful. I just love the look and feel of that. And anyway, I'll show you how it fits in here. I kind of countersunk the screw on this back side so it wouldn't rub the knife. That is just really unique. I've never seen that done, actually. That's a good idea. I'll probably do that some more on different knife sheaths. Here's my pattern. I just kind of worked it out till just kept sketching till I got it the way I wanted it. And then I fixed my spacer right here, and it's all right here. So all I have to do is set this over the leather and just mark out the outside, and then come back and put some little marks here, and then cut out my spacer. So appreciate you watching this, and I'll talk to you next time. I take this needle, find the hole there, push it through, kind of wiggle it around a little bit, then bring the needle from the back side and pull that through. It takes a little force to get that pulled through there because of the that's kind of thick right there where it goes through the eye of the needle. Okay, I'm going to pull my thread back. Sometimes the tip of that will run through your thread and it can create a mess, so you have to make sure that your needle doesn't run through the opposite thread there. And on this old leather like this, I have to be real cautious and not pull too tight to pull the stitch all the way through the leather. looking pretty good so far. $18 by 35 and a half. It's about 1/8 inch thick. Wonderful cutting pad. This is what you call a 7-iron, 7-eye. Got a smooth side for a cutting surface. I like the back because it's somewhat rougher and it stays positioned on your workbench. And you can use this a long time before you have to replace it. Got a lot of cutting surface here, and you can cut your leather pieces out. Now that the lining is trimmed off, I'll use my number 1 Western edger. This particular one's made by Barry King Tools. Yesterday I applied 2 coats of Tan-Kote on my leather coaster here. Today I'm going to antique the coaster, and I'll be using medium brown Fiebing's antique finish, and I just rub it on like this. Get it down into the cracks and crevices and tooling. Got my rubber gloves on. Hit it around the edge, and might as well hit the back too lightly. Now I can take a fresh piece of sheepskin and just kind of buff the antiquing off, and it highlights the tooled coaster. Kind of brings the little flower to life right there. Today I'm antiquing some coasters. I've got a veg tan thick coaster there that I set stamped, and I'll get my Fiebing's antique finish and really put it on heavy. Get it down into the leather stamps there, sort of highlight. Go around the edge, lightly hit the back so everything will match. It's good to have your rubber gloves on. What I'll do is I'm going to let this piece set a couple minutes and then come back with a fresh piece of sheepskin and buff the piece. Feels good there. Now, as you'll notice on this sheath, they drop down a ways. That gives that a little relief at the top to kind of raise up and not be so tight. It's about 3/8 down. I think I've already got my little marks there. Let's see my pencil mark right there. Number 1 hole. Number 14 copper rivet in the burr. There's usually on these burrs, there's always a beveled edge on one side and then a sharper edge on the other. I like the bevel edge to the top. Make sure everything's squared up like I want it, and I'll tap my design over to this other piece. Using this cobbler's hammer with a flat face on it really helps. Now that left enough of an impression that I can carve this design in to match this. Okay, here's a fairly easy way to sew your pocket onto your card wallet. Clamp it down, use a saddler's awl and punch each hole, what you call a saddler's kind of a pop stitch. Pre-punch several of my holes there so I can travel a little faster with my stitching. Now that the piece is hand stitched, I like to tap down my stitches. This is a tag for a backpack, which would also work for a piece of luggage too. So I got my machine set, got a 346 white thread and a size 200 needle in this machine.